Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, TAMI Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, friends. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Before we jump into this little reading / healing session, I want to wrap us all in love light and light love, inviting in the guides who overlight TLC for the soul, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, the Pleiadians, and I thought a cast of other characters would like to join me here. I thought we would just do a little bit more of a casual sit together. It's not going to be, well, it kind of might be a pick a card, but it's going to just be a little chat, collective reading / healing session, having to do with what are the lessons in different types of different life areas. So if you're having some sort of a weird, tailspin or downturn or something happening in areas like finances, career, relationships, whatever, we're going to do a little series here at TLC for the Soul for each of those areas. And this is going to live kind of like in our Timeless Readings playlist on YouTube. I've been putting all the pick-a cards and timeless readings in there, and then I've got a playlist on Spotify as well for that. And I'm just and I'm going to put this in other places as well, but I can't create. I'm trying to find the perfect sitting position here. I can't create playlists on some of these other podcast providers, but Spotify I can. So today we're going to focus on what are the lessons in this situation. What are you learning from this situation in regards to finances? So this could be any time you're having like some sort of maybe weird or unexpected financial downturn. I just saw 222 on the timer. We're going to do a little bit of a collective, put the cards out, and then we're also within this, we're going to do a little pick a card to see for you exactly what is going on. Is this karmic? Is this karma you have to deal with? What's happening in this situation? And how is there anything you can do to change it or fix it or whatever? Okay. So it looks like Archangel Michael, he's the only deck that kind of stayed out here, is very heavily involved in this. So this is, Spirit, what are the lessons being learned in this situation regarding finances? And I'm not even going to necessarily say downturn. I'm just going to say what you're going through right now is something where your finances aren't where you want them to be. So it could be some sort of a weird downturn, like, everything was going fine and all of a sudden something's weird. Or possibly you're doing okay, but you want more. You want financial freedom. What are the lessons? And maybe we find out through the course of this that maybe it's all kind of one and the same thing. So I've got this Archangel Michael Sword of Light deck. I'm just going to shuffle and see what the cards have to say right now. Make a decision. Oh, that's quite interesting. Are you choosing to prioritize yourself or another in this situation? Accept divine guidance pointing you toward your own joy. You deserve it. Now the scales, this is definitely like Egyptian. This reminds me of like Ma'at and the, when you pass over, they weigh your heart against a feather and whichever, like the scales of justice. There could be some karmic justice going on in this situation. In that, let's see, I don't think the cards have to all be perfectly perfect. We're not about perfection here. There could be some karmic rebalancing going on. But let's get a story going before I just start saying more. All right, this is the Guild Tarot. What are the lessons being learned? Okay, these two are sticking by my fingers. In this situation. Is the whole deck in reverse? Hold on, let me just see. No. So these two came out in reverse, and I just checked to make sure I didn't have the whole deck just upside down. So these are usually our significators. When things come out in reverse, I read them as significators rather than it's the reverse of the situation. But it's the Seven of Pentacles with delay. This is like a divine timing type card. And the Two of Wands with dominion. And together, 7 and 2 is a 9. Divine timing. And to me, dominion, when I see this, it makes me feel like obviously you're learning something. There's lessons to be learned. Wow, so they've actually just kind of put out here the 3 things before this reading. I was saying, like, well, what are the 3 reasons that this could be happening to you, whatever it is with your finances? And the 3 that had come up were karmic lessons around finances, divine timing, which is different than karmic lessons, and 2, this one, there's still lessons to be learned, or there's lessons that you're learning before something can happen. And there's each one of those is kind of like a slightly different twist. Karma is one thing, divine timing another. Lessons to be learned is kind of a nuance of those. So maybe Spirit wants me to just focus like this. Okay, so let's pull out, if it's a divine timing, I do have a reading like this too. I have a reading like this over on Loveland Tarot, and I thought about somehow moving those videos over on YouTube over to here on the podcast. They're out there. I may need to pull them into our timeless readings playlist, but before I'm on this big reorg of all the TLC for the soul stuff right now, and rejiggering stuff. So that's just some other thing I'm working on. But let's get more information on each one of these. The divine timing. We got Reiki healing for sadness. Set a timer for 1 minute. Sit back and relax to receive this healing. So let's do that. Under the divine timing one, I think what's happening here is you thought that maybe things were going to take off by now, or maybe your finances would have improved, or maybe, all of this would be behind you by now. And Spirit's saying this situation is divine timing. So there's no sense in being like sad about divine timing, because there's not a whole lot that you can do. And we just did a big relationship reading, the one right before this. It was almost 2 hours long. And for the divine timing, one of the piles was all about divine timing. And for some of the guidance there was where there's nothing you or the other person can do in a situation. So in this case, it's like there's nothing you can do other than wait for divine timing to run its course and for it to happen. So in this situation, we need to bring in some healing hands. I'm going to call this this is my little plate here. This is my little healing hand. And I do use this when I set up crystal grids to do some healing work, to try and send energy. You can't see that. Let me pull the camera back a little bit more. To put some energy into a situation. So they want me to grab the pyrite because it's gold. I've got this weird laughter going on today. I'm not sure what it's about. All right, so let's grab the pyrite and let's just, I don't think the hand can hold the whole pyrite. Let's do this. Let's set up a little grid. And we're going to do some healing around. I want to do this. Maybe I don't want the tea plate there right now. Maybe I just want the pyrite to go into the whole Reiki healing for sadness and the divine timing. And I want to, this with the hands, with the healing, the power of the healing hands and intention. We're just going to send some Reiki. And because this is finance related, we are working with Archangel Ariel. I like to say the power of gold. We're bringing in healing for just disappointment, I think, that maybe things aren't where you thought they would be right now. So since this is a reading / healing session, as we're doing the healing, you want to just like take a deep breath, release, and we're surrounding the situation. We're surrounding you and whatever this situation is with your finances in this golden auric angel energy. I do have a golden aura quartz. It's very big and it sits on the tarot table. And what I'm going to do now is, we don't always have to pull every single crystal and every single thing into a healing session, but I've got many crystals that are master crystals that don't have to, they are self-charging, self-recharging, self-healing. They don't have to be moved around. They don't even have to be present right here in front of the camera for them to do their work. And so what I'm asking then is for the golden aura quartz. It's over there on the tarot table. You guys have seen it. If you're a regular, especially if you watch the daily shorts, you've seen the golden aura quartz tarot. It looks like a tower. It looks like it has, it's a massive crystal point. It looks like it has clouds inside of it. It's kind of a yellow color. And all I can do is instruct that crystal to send healing energy vibes down into the pyrite. And for the pyrite so we've got golden aura angelic energy coming from the tower, going into the pyrite, which is a proxy for Archangel Ariel in this case, going into the healing hand. So I don't even necessarily have to hold my hand up and do anything with it, because this is all coming out and going into the whole Reiki healing for sadness and divine timing card. You will feel relief from this because that is the intention of this session. And we just want to show you some different ways of working, especially for me, some different ways that I work that I don't always showcase on the channel. Just some fun ways of doing healing. Okay. Is there anything else we want to say about divine timing? Okay, so they want me to get one more card about the divine timing from all my decks are my favorites, but from the deck called the Embroidered Graveyard. I had 2 cards, so I need to put them back in. Okay, they're saying I can leave them out. That's fine. All right, so this deck is excellent advice, an excellent book. The deck itself is just amazingly beautiful. I talk about it all the time because it's just so beautiful. It's all golden and holographic and rainbowy, and it's got these planchettes like from the Ouija board. So let's just see, what other advice do we have about the divine timing? Okay, we've got one card. Nourish, card number 25. I always read from the book because the book is amazing. So the other advice then is Nourish. Let's see, card number 25. That's a 7. Okay, so that's a 7. So we've got 7, 7 on the table, which when I get 7s, to me that means things are moving forward. I just saw 144, 7 on the timer. 144. Let's just see. Card number 25. Okay, it's okay. The trash people are here. All right, yes, it's just the trash people picking up the trash. All right, I don't want to have to pause my video, so leave the room if you can't be quiet. Hey, okay. Okay, let you get that out of your system. All right, thank you. Okay, carry on. Sounds like thunder, makes her scared. It's the dumpster across the way they're moving. This piece was incredibly difficult. Oh gosh, divine timing. At over 65 hours. So this particular deck is all embroidered artwork by hand. This is not AI. It's not, anything else. It's embroidery. What do I want to say? Like, it's done by hand, embroidered, and these pieces that are then sold. I guess she sells these, and then they made a deck out of all the pieces she created. But I saw embroidered feathers in my dreams for weeks. It's ironic that the card about big picture thinking had me hunched over it, focused on the details. This is a harpy. Oh, I love it. With patchwork wings of all the birds that have come before her perches in your path. You know you cannot pass her without first respectfully listening to divine wisdom. She's ready to oh my God, I can't even talk. Divine wisdom. Maybe I need to do some bird light language. With an owl's gaze, she looks at you, into you, through you. Her vision is that of the bird's eye. She sees the big picture and wants you to as well. Each day can lead to your growth and betterment if you choose it, she says. Nourish yourself by dreaming big. Give yourself that gift, but don't stop at dreaming. Plan and then do. All right, so let's see. This is Ancestors and Spirit Guides. This deck is big on the Ancestors and Spirit Guides coming through. Exists outside of the shackles of time, and they are capable of big picture thinking at a moment's notice. When this card comes to you, they are asking that you trust them, dream big, and then most importantly, do the steps. Let yourself see all the things you need to do to manifest your dream life laid out below you like the roads, a map turned to-do list like words becoming a path. When you feel ready, come back down to rest on the earth. It's talking about visualization. It's time to make that list. Remember, you can visit the heights of the harpies whenever you need big picture thinking. And for now, it's best to get working on your list. So, okay. So in this case, Spirit, I'm going to pull out, maybe this is pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. No, it can't be. All right, let me just keep going and see where this is leading. In this case, if it's divine timing, so I actually found this little necklace a long time ago when I would say my finances were at one of their all-time lows. And I would walk around and, I didn't have a lot of money to buy stuff. But I would walk with my dog every morning, and I always found what I needed. Spirit would just, it would just be there. So, I wasn't really looking for a pendulum, but I was walking with the dog one morning and I found this and I was like, oh, the color's so beautiful. And it looked like a Mardi Gras necklace. And I think it might have been right at the time of Mardi Gras. Maybe people have been throwing them around or whatever, who knows. But it was perfectly fine. There was absolutely nothing wrong with it. I loved the sparkly blue color, and so I picked it up. And during that time, I found all sorts of amazing, not just people's trash. I found the story. Do I tell the story of the walking stick? Let me just do a little storytelling of the walking stick. And this is about divine timing, and you'll always get what you need when you need it. So I was living, this was 2018. I was living with relatives in South Texas, right after a huge financial downturn. I'm talking about my phone got shut off, and I was, my relatives were, gifting me money to get my phone service turned back on. I didn't have a place to live. I was living with, relatives. We were trying to build backup finances to move out of that space. It was right at my shaman's death period when I lost everything all at the same time. Like my house, my lease ran out on a place I was living. I didn't have anywhere else to go because I didn't have money to move. I had to go put my stuff in store. I had just enough money to get done what I needed to get done. And I was feeling really low at that point in time. And that was when Cryon came into my life, and I would listen to Cryon every morning. I would walk my dog, and there was this beautiful river, creek area, an amazing outdoor path that my relatives, my extended family lived and had just moved into this amazing house. And I had seen this man out there when I would walk the dogs some mornings, and he was this is before both my dogs passed, and he would he would gather tree limbs, not little branches, but tree limbs. And in that area, there was a lot of cedar trees, a lot of cypress pine, those kind of trees, a lot of oak trees in South Texas. And I remember wondering what he was doing. And I remember seeing him, he would walk the path sometimes in the mornings, and he always had these amazing walking sticks. And I remember talking to him one day just briefly, oh, do you make those sticks? And he's like, yes. I just, he didn't say words like divinely guided, but he was very elemental energy, very elven energy. He was a master craftsman. He was an old soul. But he said, I just make them as I'm guided to, in different shapes. None of them were the same. They were different heights. He's like, and then I leave them out here for people to find. And I mean, these were I have two of them. They were to me, they were masterpieces. They were masterpiece works of art. I mean, they didn't have crystals or anything. It was the carvings and the shapes. There was just something really special about them. The wood that was used. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. And I didn't even really wish, maybe secretly I was like, wow, I wish I had one of those. And I remember one morning walking with my dog. It wasn't the same day I found this, but it was, the dog wanted to go one way and I wanted to go another way. And the dog kept trying to take me one way down this path. And I was like, fine, let me just follow you. And I ended up walking down it's like a little boardwalk built into the woods kind of thing. And I remember going the way the dog wanted to go, and I happened upon this walking stick, and it was leaning up against the edge of the boardwalk area, because down below is the creek side and the woods and stuff. And I mean, I was just in tears, because I picked up that walking stick, and I mean, it was perfectly my height. I mean, my hand fell exactly where it would needed to fall for me to use it. And I remember asking Spirit, I was afraid to take it. And I was like, is this meant for me? And they're like, yes. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And I mean, it was so needed. It was just my little candle. It wasn't even a staff. It was my little old walking stick, my little old humbled warrior walking stick. It was so amazing. And it came to me just when I needed it most, in terms of hope and trust and faith in the universe. And yeah, it was really exciting. And even the fact that the dog, had I not listened to the dog and gone the other way, then I would not have seen it, because of the way it was placed. I would have missed it. And not seen it going the other direction. So divine timing, I guess right now it's about big picture thinking. And the lesson being learned here is about big picture thinking. Yeah, what do you want to do? They're saying, what do you want to do with your life? And just get on that. And because it seems like in this case, maybe because of divine timing and the fact that the guides have said this is already outside of your control, then all you can do is check in with the guidance that you're getting. If there's tasks or action items or steps, make a list, follow them, allow Spirit to guide you. And especially when there's divine timing, it doesn't seem like there's a lot that necessarily needs to be healed here. Maybe all the healing work has already been done. And this is more about trusting the universe and getting on with your life and not focusing so much on your finances. Let your I'm not saying don't focus at all, because if you're in some sort of a downturn, then you need to be very resourceful with what you've got. This is not like just go hoo-ha and spend, all your stuff, and then you're like, oh, I have nothing. The universe is going to drop money on my path. We're talking about being very resourceful with what you have. And knowing that things are going to change, and the lessons being learned here are about what I just said about trusting the universe, having faith, honoring the journey, trusting in divine timing, and that you will have what you need when you need it. You may not have everything you want right now. You may have most of what you want, maybe not all of what you want, but you have everything you need. And I do remember that being so. I mean, I remember during that time, like only having like $60 for, I thought was nothing. I had come from a lifestyle, I had been thrown into a lifestyle. I was coming from a lifestyle where I was making thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a month, like tens of thousands of dollars a month. And so I would just go to the store and I would just pick up whatever I wanted. I didn't like look at my checkbook or look at I was just and then all of a sudden I was thrown into a situation where I had like $60 for groceries. And I was like, how am I going to make this work? And somehow I made it. It always worked out. It always worked out. Everything always worked out. Even when my phone was turned off, it was turned off for like a day. And then I didn't ask anybody for anything. And I had people offer like, let me help you get your phone turned back on because you need it. That's an essential thing you need right now. And so everything happened exactly as it needed to happen. And was I disappointed? Was I feeling a little bit humbled by the experience? Oh yeah, most definitely. And so the lessons being learned is like, honor your resources too, like you would anything else, like you would your health. Your wealth is just as important, and financial healing and tithing and healthy investing and wealthy living and giving so that you can receive, giving back so that you can receive is all part of the lessons being learned during this time, during this story. And as to the when is this going to turn around, since Spirit's saying that's out of your hands, then you just have to keep going. You just have to keep going. But I think you are maybe not pulling back enough to see all the magic that's happening along the journey. There's some money magic happening in this space and in this place. So Spirit, am I going to have to timestamp these? Is this really a pick a card? They're like, just keep going. Okay. And then if I need to fix something, I can. All right. So that's this little track right here. Make a decision. You are choosing to prioritize yourself or another in this situation. Accept divine guidance. This was the karmic one. This was karmic lessons around your finances. So let's get a card from Spring Fling. Let's see what else we're going to say about karmic stuff happening with finances. We got the Death card, time for a change. We got the Temperance card, which to me looks like, well, just go out and enjoy yourself. And we got the Heart chakra. This is a kiwi fruit. We've got the heart over here too. The Temperance card, light as a feather. And the Death card, time for a change. Are these lessons being learned? The lessons being learned are karmic. I think this is all three kind of happening simultaneously. You're having to trust in divine timing. There's been karmic lessons around your finances. And the self-mastery, that Two of Wands. Karma. Well, if it's karmic, you pretty much just got to suck it up. And if it means that you're repaying karma, like things have to come back into balance, and so you're doing some sort of divine service work to repay karma, then there really is not a whole lot you can do than basically just like do whatever it is that you're being given as, I still call it like penance, as like your penance. Sometimes I think it's not apparent to you what the karmic retribution is. What is the recompense? Like, what are you doing that's repaying the karma here? And I think that's where it can get a little bit confusing when it comes to karmic justice. I think when you can understand, like, well, what area of my life is the karmic justice being repaid in, then there becomes a little bit more of an acceptance around what's happening to you, because, well, you only kind of have yourself to blame in a sense, either in this lifetime or a past lifetime. And I think sometimes you might make yourself go a little crazy about the exact situation that's being repaid. So I'm repaying karma because of what? Is it something I did in this lifetime? Sometimes it might be readily apparent. If you did a lot to financially harm others in this lifetime, whether intentionally or unintentionally, that karma still has to be repaid. Energy is energy, whether you intended for it to happen or not. If something inadvertently happened as a result of something you did, as a result of your actions, and someone was hurt financially by whatever you did, then that's yours to repay, and you've just got to repay it. How you're repaying it? Well, you've got some sort of karmic, like a downturn in your finances. Your finances need healing. Your finances, let's see. Okay, they're saying Loveland. Let's see what else is going on here with the karmic justice. Let's see. Peace in the heart. As the beings of Loveland looked on, all they could ever want or need, there we go, was right before their eyes. Peace within you and peace all around you. You are truly blessed. I do think that the blessings here, especially in the time that we're living in now, is that you are able to actually clear this karma in this lifetime. And that is a blessing if you pull back and away from the situation a little bit, as we talked about in the first little grouping here. Then it wasn't always the case where karma could be almost instantly repaid. Sometimes you had to wait lifetimes. And I was just listening to Cryon this morning talking about, and I posted it on the community tab in YouTube, the channeling he did, but it was kind of like, are you feeling weird right now, or something, like something's really weird in your life? And one of it is, well, this new earth now is here, and we've never really lived in New Earth now before, so it's like we don't know what to make of it. And one of the New Earth now things is you get to do almost this instant karmic rebalancing. Or if you say something like, I want to rebalance all my karma, which is what I did way back in 2018 when I didn't know anybody, when Cryon told me I could do it. And I was like, I want to do that. And so I've spent the last 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 6 years rebalancing past life and current life karma. And as such, things aren't exactly where I want them to be yet, because I'm still paying off those karmic debts. And I'm doing it. And I'm getting to do it. I'm getting the divine opportunity to do it through service work, rather than like some sort of weird, well, there might be some little menial, some sort of like weird menial labor or something, something else horrible happening. I'm getting the opportunity to do it by doing something that I really love and enjoy. And much of my karmic debt is being repaid through TLC for the soul. just creating. We have over 700 shows now. We don't make anything off of any of this work that we're doing. Our channel's not monetized. We don't have thousands of, tens of thousands of followers like we want. It's the act of creating and putting the content out there that is the karmic service, and the karmic justice is doing the work and not expecting anything in return. And that's what's happening here. So is there somewhere in your life where maybe you're doing something and you are expecting some sort of financial gain from it, and you're not seeing anything, and you just are being told, well, just keep going, keep going. It is not that it's never coming with the divine timing. It will get here, but it's not here right now because you've still got some karmic debt to repay. And yours could be 7 years, 10 years, 30 years, 2 years, 1 year, 1 month. I don't know. The time that it takes for you to do this is different for each one of you based on the type of debt you're paying back. I created some really, really, really negative karma with a situation with another person in my life quite some time ago, many, many years ago. And I wasn't intentionally trying to hurt anybody, but through my actions, I really, really negatively, financially, big time hurt somebody. And so here I am. I'm just doing the work. And when Spirit says the karma, it's not really even Spirit, it's when the Lords of Karma and the Lords of Justice say that the karmic debt has been repaid, then that's when I will be released from doing this, from doing whatever it is. And I can see some sort of, financial turnaround in what I'm creating, so to speak. So I think I've just said everything about all of these cards here without really having to touch on each one. And really, for this type of karmic, all you can really do is do the work. And like I said, luckily, this work comes from my heart. It's something I really want to do. I love TLC for the Soul. TLC for the Soul has been around even before the whole, TLC for the Soul has been around for a long time. And it continues to reap rewards in many people's lives. And so that's why we're here, to be of service. All right, the Dominion card. So is there any other healing? No, we're ready for the Dominion card. We don't have a graveyard? Nope. Okay, no. We don't have a graveyard. We have the Death card. Dominion. You're learning lessons along the way. So we had divine timing, karmic rebalancing, and this is like self-mastery. Becoming a master over what? Over your finances. Yeah, I think the lessons being learned here are some of the actions that you took to get yourself into this position. I mean, you're not in a position of downturn finances. I think you can be, okay, there's two ways. Something you did, like, well, maybe you just spent too much and now, well, you got to deal with it, right? Or maybe someone else connected to you has done something that, as a result of the ripple effect, inadvertently affects you. And so I think the lessons being learned are twofold. One of them, if it's something you did to cause your own financial downturn, well, you have to learn from those mistakes. I mean, that's why we're here on the planet, right? To learn from our mistakes. You have to learn from those mistakes in that, I'll never do that again. Maybe it's some hard mistakes, like you had to file for bankruptcy or something. Like, well, part of the whole bankruptcy process is like, they try to get you back on track. Like, well, you'll never do that again. Is there some ancestral healing involved? Maybe there's, maybe there's ancestral karma involved with this number 2, this Dominion thing too, because the number 2 makes me feel like it could be something you did, but it could also be that you're the recipient of someone else's bad moves, basically, whether it be ancestors in the past who didn't manage their finances so well, And it does kind of pass through the timelines, and pass on to you. Because if somebody managed their finances really well, then there'd always be more than enough. And if family members were not this all plays into each other. If family members weren't unforgiving or whatever, uh, it's either you've got somebody who managed their finances really well, but they're like, well, you're not getting any of that. It's all going to somebody else. Unforgiveness, or they didn't manage their finances very well, and you expected to receive, because inheritance is like a big thing, right? I think that's just been passed down through the ages, like ancestral homes, ancestral lands, ancestral money. Like it came because of like inheritances, all about way back as far as you can remember, right? Dowries and inheritances. And I think that, to me, I hope that this is where the new earth now is kind of going back to, is a place where you've got enough to share, your heart is open, and you understand what it means to pay it forward, so to speak. And so if you aren't the benefactor of that, so let's say, your ancestral line, they didn't manage their finances very well, and so you didn't get anything when grandma passed away because she left it to somebody else or whatever, her heart was hardened. I don't know. There could be many different situations happening with this last little one, so we're going to try to touch on just a few of them, but it all comes down to either your bad decisions or somebody else's bad decisions left you in a space where, you are wanting for more. And now is the opportunity, I think, to do some ancestral healing. Here's the way you do it. You do it by, you turn things around. You turn things around. Yes, and look, there's the number 7 again with the Chariot card with this box from the Gill is showing here. You turn this around by saying, I'm not going to take this anymore. I don't want this. I didn't like how this went for myself. And so, I don't want this for anybody else in my family stream. Maybe this is your kids. Maybe this is soul family members. It doesn't even have to be blood relatives. But I think you are here to leave a legacy. And if you have the financial wherewithal, then you're involved in, you want to be involved in investing for the future, in, using your money wisely, in being resourceful. And even, I don't know where this came from, but it was like even millionaires are resourceful. Millionaires didn't get to be millionaires by running around, spending all their money. They are resourceful in a way that allows them to enjoy life and get most of what they want, all of what they need, but to have enough to put away for themselves and for future generations to come. And, and you can slot in to the future generations to come bucket, whoever you want to be there. But I really feel like if there's children involved, then children should be the recipients of some of this financial wealth, and be shown how to, the same thing, be shown how to do healthy investing and tithing and all of that. I think it's a parent's responsibility as a guardian of their kids to pass along those type of self-mastery skills. Now, if there's no kids involved, then, it's charitable giving, I guess. You will be shown or given, some sort of charitable, who knows what it would be or who it would be, or who, it could be an organization, it could be another person. I don't know. That's different for everybody. But I think right now you would do yourself a great service, and future generations to come, whoever they are for you, to learn what you can about what it means to be a million, yeah, why not say this? What it means to be a millionaire? Because I'm sorry, there's not like nobody, I don't care. Now, if you're so spiritual and you're hearing me say that and you're like, oh my God, what do you mean you're spiritual and you want money? Then you have a lot of you have a lot of chakra healing to do and past life healing to do around financial stuff. Because the only good people with money, money in the hands of good people can help save the world. And so you can't build a healing center. You can't, help your favorite charities. You can't sponsor the little girl that you want to sponsor in Zimbabwe or whatever. You can't build some school in India. You can't do any of those things. You can't travel the world and do healing work in your favorite places on the planet. You can't do any of that without money. Money, the energy of money is what is, it's what it is right now. It's what it is. Who knows? 1,000 years from now, it may not be money. It may be rocks again or whatever, the wampum. But for now, it's freaking cash. So if there's nothing wrong with saying I want to be a millionaire, there's nothing. I don't want to just be a 1 millionaire. I want to be like millionaires, millionaires. There's nothing wrong with saying that, and start learning what it is to be a millionaire. What does it take? And I don't care how old you are. It's never too late to start. And it's never too late to start. And what does that mean for you? Start asking spirit, like, well, first of all, if that makes you feel weird inside and the thought of any of that, then you need spirit to help you do the healing work that it's going to take. We're talking about like past life vows of poverty, past life vows of charity, past life vows where you said, I'm going to do all this work and I don't expect anything in return. Like all of that has to be healed. And it could be something that was done in this lifetime to block you financially. And that's probably like it's all its own show. But right now it's time to learn the self-mastery skills of what it means to be a wealthy person. You define that amount of wealth. Maybe you don't care about millions. Maybe, I don't know why you wouldn't, but, it's like, I don't know, I guess because I have big dreams and I'm like, well, I can't accomplish any of those with like just $10,000. It's not going to cut it. It's going to take a lot. So start learning, start asking for your guides to send you the resources you need to get started, to heal your finances, to help you with investing for the future, to help you with, I call it tithing, but it's basically like giving back. It is a thing. It's not just a religious thing. It is a spiritual concept as part of a spiritual law about giving back a portion of what you receive. It's part of doing service work, it's just part of what it is. And so, what's your monthly tithing, 10% or 20% of your, I don't know what you feel comfortable with, but start somewhere, start with something, start with 1%, of giving to a charitable cause that is close to your heart. And pick one that is right for you. And we're going to do a whole other, this seems like this is going to be a whole other series, this pile number 2, or this self-mastery, financial self-mastery. We could do a whole other series with breakout sessions and all sorts of stuff on that. So I'm going to leave that there, that financial self-mastery is a major one in the case of your finances not being where you want them to be right now. So you've got a lot going on, and I do find it very cool that the rainbow from the rainbow, is that from the card or from, I can't tell if that's, oh yeah, it's the rainbow from the rainbow maker on this karma card. So I feel like right now the karma card is probably the biggest one that you're having to deal with regarding your finances. Getting better. You've got to get that karma repaid. You've just got to follow the guidance that you're being given on how to do that. I think that's where the divine timing comes in. At some point, Spirit's going to come in and say, okay, you've done enough karmic recompense. You're released. And who knows, maybe there is some sort of, they haven't clued me in on all the inner school mysteries of how this karmic recompense and works. But I'm wondering if there is some sort of like time out for good behavior kind of a thing. Like, well, you've gone above and beyond, and so because you get some sort of like extra speedy recovery. They're saying extra speedy recovery, maybe because we have this 1 minute healing. So maybe, it's not tit for tat, they're saying. So it's not like, well, I caused somebody 1 year of bad finances, so I'm going to take 1 year to pay this off or whatever. I think it's just not like that at all. You don't even, like, to go into that, they're saying would take too long, and it's not really appropriate for me to talk about that, they're saying, outside of like a self-mastery session. Okay, so maybe they'll bring that up in a self-mastery session. But it seems like the big lessons right now are, it's being divinely guided, right? Because we're talking about karma. Like, the general public doesn't even really, sit down and talk about karma. They're just like, wham, my finances. So we're getting like the inner mystery school teachings around what's going on with your friggin' finances. And it's going to take some work, but I do feel like the more you can accept what's going on, look at the bigger picture, see the more with the gratitude and seeing how things in your life are really all working out for the best. And the more that you can be of a mindset of coming from the heart space and doing divine service, the faster you're going to repay these karmic debts. And they're saying you may even pay them off sooner than you think. So always have hope in divine timing. And then the card that's kind of left off to the edge there is this whole thing about self-mastery of your finances. And that's going to be, I think, a whole other show. But let me just pull in one final card, because I could go and talk for a whole other hour about financial self-mastery. But they want me to put some materials together for you as well on that. So it may just be a financial self-mastery workshop that we end up doing. So the last card we got in relation to what's going on with my finances is the Mother card, card number 60. This is like the Empress card. This is like a bizarre card to me. Like, these bones right here just don't make any sense. I don't know what they're doing there, but let's see what the Mother card has to say about, because didn't we have a Nourish? Yeah, Nourish was the harpy. So let's just see in closing what this Mother card has to say. And then the guides want us to come back and do more on this. So this is the Mother card. The mother, the classic caregiver and nurturer. This person is your guardian, genetic or consciously chosen. This card comes through when it's time for us to express the feminine part of ourselves, which we might have been holding back from ourselves or from others. Mother asks us to listen to our feelings and give a damn about them. Yes, be creative and express them. Try the carve out and explore creative space ritual. The mother archetype is so much more than someone who gives birth. This is what I was talking about too. We express mother archetype every time we use our bodies to create something which was once only an idea, be it art, dance, music, and more. What ideas do you need to birth into existence? Yeah, it's about the Nourish too. The mother archetype asks us to care for ourselves. As adults, we are responsible for parenting ourselves. This card asks, what are we not providing for ourselves? How can we nurture, that's twice now, nurture, and those around us nurture, nourish? How can we nurture ourselves? Perhaps we have to birth a project into existence, create it before we can nurture it. Perhaps we have been holding ourselves back and not acting on our creative ideas and projects in order to stay small. Explore this in shadow work. Okay, so it sounds like I can already see 2 more sessions of this work, a self-mastery class and the healing work we need to do to clear some of those limiting beliefs that may be past life or this life related. So I'm going to just do this then as a little 3, I guess it's going to be 3 parts here. We're going to do this as a series. We'll just leave the how many parts open right now. And come back to this next time. We're working another series here on this show. But they're saying not right now. Like, I can't even in my mind remember what it was. the writer's workshop. Okay, we're not going to do writer's workshop right now. Then we're going to leave that out there. And they want me to come back in and do this financial self-mastery course. So I'm going to leave that here then. And I am really interested to see what comes next with this. So we will see you again soon for Financial Self-Mastery Part 2 then. And I love you all. Take care. This episode was brought to you by Flame, Rockaway Point's one and only hot yoga studio. You can do this, Rockaway Point. Get yourself in for a Flame yoga hot body session with Sandra McGee. She will push you to your very limits in the over 100-degree studio temperatures. You are sure to get your hot yoga freak flag on. Go ahead and join us at Flame.
Turn your right hip forward so your two hips